Huh. I feel like we're off a little bit here.
Yeah, right.
That'll buff. We've done this once or twice, saying the same things.
Hello. We are live.
We're live.
It's
Officially live.
Saturday.
It's Saturday. The screen
I
is
don't know what
small
day
right
it is.
now. We've lost track of time.
Yeah, but I'm still recovering on sleep.
Hope you have a hair in your face.
Hello.
Hello,
everyone. How is everybody's weekend?
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for coming on a Saturday, college football Saturday.
Hopefully this is like between games people wanted to see.
I'm sorry if you're a South Carolina fan.
That's true. That's true.
That's tough.
Scooby Moto, hi.
Hello.
Jonathan, thank you for joining.
How is everybody? We'll let people kind of roll in here.
Let people come on. Steven.
Can see and hear you. Good. That's always good. Technical difficulties are
right.
Always...
That's like the first 3 minutes of a live.
Yeah, I was just like making sure everything works.
There's no echoes. There might be
reverb,
if there are, let us know.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you for joining. They're flowing in. I love it.
Everybody's coming.
Yay.
Hi. As you guys come in, how's your weekend, everybody?
Yeah, hopefully everyone's having a good weekend. It's been pouring rain here. Hello, Josh. Thanks for joining.
Josh, hello.
Our 2 dogs have been like chomping at the bit to get out of the house, and it has just been dumping rain for the last 2 days, seriously. 3 days. And so we're hoping it holds where we can take them for a walk tomorrow at least.
The edges of that hurricane that hit Louisiana.
I'm happy this is happening while I'm under the lifeguard tower during the powering rain.
Yeah.
Right?
See, you're dealing with some rain too.
Dumping rain.
Dumping rain here too.
John's made
John
it to the
is
chat.
Here.
John,
we've got a secret for you.
We have a surprise for you. We're so excited. You guys are all going to get to share in the surprise that I want to say we made it for Big John, but we really made it for ourselves. So we will reveal that surprise in just a couple minutes after people get in here and load it up. I know it does take a minute sometimes to get into a live call. So
hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Wow, a lot of people coming.
Welcome.
So I guess we'll just sort of kick this off. So we just, a week ago, it feels like yesterday, got back from our extended stay at Universal, where we stayed.
We were there for 9 days.
Premium Scream, HHN Night 1. We were there for 9 days. It was a lot.
And Ben got 4 days worth of sleep.
Maybe. I was running about 2 hours of sleep for the first 72 hours we were there. It was a good time.
Right.
Don't recommend it.
Should we reveal the surprise, or do I need to wait longer?
No, I'm so ready. John's ready.
John, do you want to see the surprise? Do you want to see the surprise?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, we did the photo pass, which there will be a video coming here eventually of our experience doing Universal's photo pass. But in doing so, we had some really fun moments.
Great moments.
Some candid memories, if you will.
Core memories, if you will.
Yeah.
Wrong IP, but core memories.
Core memories. But our favorite memory was in E.T.'s toy closet when John got to ride the bike with E.T. as Elliot. And we took that photo afterwards, doctored it up a little bit. It looks very similar to the original photo, but I don't know. I blew up the background a little bit, changed some things. So we made shirts from it. And I'm wearing the shirt tonight, which I will back up and show y'all. Isn't this lovely? It's just the best shirt. So
that is an amazing shirt.
Yeah, we've got Big John here and E.T. and, it's about to be my new favorite park going shirt, mainly because of E.T. It's great.
It's a great shirt.
It's great. So Ben has his own as well. He's repping an After Colors shirt this evening.
Death Eaters.
If you guys haven't checked out Shop After Colors, we follow them on Instagram. They've got a fantastic website, and we love. Ben loves them, but I love their Harry Potter themed shirts. And we got some of their Halloween shop specials that are coming through. And I had to get Ben a Death Eater shirt for all the Death Eater photos and videos he takes. But we also have a couple others as well. So those are our new shirts right now. It was like a fun try-on experience earlier today. That was a hoot. I hope you like the shirt, John. You didn't get one, but maybe we'll get Mariana one for Christmas. Do you think she'll like it? Anyway, what else do we have?
What do you think of Premium Scream Night?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Premium Scream Night was a once in a lifetime experience. It was the most empty the parks have ever been.
Crazy.
And like we've been to a number of Orlando Informer meetups, and those were busier than our experience at Premium Scream Night. What was your favorite thing at Premium Scream Night?
I mean, it's hard to pick from Premium Scream Night because Premium Scream Night was arguably probably the best event that we've done at Universal Orlando. Like, the fact that like you're not waiting at all to go through houses, it was a full menu. Like, it was crazy, like how empty the parks were. It's even by like 11:30 or midnight, that you were just able to walk into. We did like 16 houses done. Like, it was getting to the point where we were just like, do you want to go through another house? I mean, we could,
right.
But it was like we were tired. I don't want to say we were tired of going through houses, but you were bored. We were borderline tired of going through houses.
I wouldn't say tired. It was just like, okay, like we've got a whole nother week following this of HHN to do. Like, what else? And so there was a point in time where we were walking around the parks, and it was just us and the scare actors in line. It was crazy. Oh, a Big John shirt. They're not currently for sale, but I will look into that. I will look into it. If there's popular demand, I know how to make them, and they could. We don't sell merch, but like, is the Big John shirt worth actually selling this as an item of merch? Dawn, by the way, the shirt that Ben's wearing is from Shop After Colors. Fantastic website. They do both some Disney stuff, some Harry Potter stuff, some T Swift stuff. And if you're a book girly, they do a lot of book stuff as well. So.
But it was also very nice meeting you before Premium Scream Night. We are glad that you stopped by and said hi. We always love meeting people, like especially like if we're filming, doing whatever, make sure to stop us because we'll stop, say hi, chat it up, and have a grand old time. So it was a pleasure meeting you, Dawn. And we hope to see you in the parks again.
Do you think, back to Premium Scream, they will continue doing Premium Scream Night next season?
Yes. I think they will probably give it one more run.
I'm going to move this closer to us. There we go.
I think they will give it one more run. It will be expensive.
Yes. I think that's the big asterisk by it is I don't think that Premium Scream Night, if they bring it back next year, will be as empty as it was this year. So I think there's a big expectation of as amazing as it was this year. And that's why I say it was kind of like a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
I personally, if they bring it back, will not expect Premium Scream Night to be as empty as it was because it was so amazing and other people want to share that experience too. And we paid $350 per ticket.
That was a steal.
Honestly. It was a steal. We did not take advantage of all the free food, which they had a full menu that evening. We had like Richter Burger and the s'more that night. But I expect that if they do everything the same way that they did this season, that you can expect the ticket price will go up even further than $350 a person.
I also wouldn't be shocked based off if they were like, hey, we're not going to raise the price if they scrap it, because like it got to the point where we were thinking like, man, there's more employees here than guests. And
yeah. There was a point where like there was a number of employees just in waiting to get people queued into the line for a house, and we're like the only ones walking towards the house. It was an experience we've never seen at Universal before.
Got a question from Jordan. Are we coming down for HHN again?
We are.
A couple of times, actually. Some crazy things have happened.
Some crazy things have actually happened in the last week. So we planned, and based off of Ben's schedule, to go back for the weekend of Columbus Day weekend, because he has a 4-day weekend and we could squeeze it in. Just so you all know, right now, the hotels are basically sold out at Universal for Columbus Day weekend. We tried to make reservations. So this is going to be our first experience. We're actually going to stay off-site, see how that goes, and then go and enjoy HHN on Friday and Sunday of that weekend, as well as we're going to go and see what Hallow Scream's all about that Saturday. And then we have some special guests that wanted to go and experience the park for their first time, both daytime and HHN. They've never been to Universal before. And so we have kind of worked with them on scheduling, and we're going to take some special guests down to Universal towards the end of October. which we were not expecting this to happen. And so we have another trip to go to HHN for a couple days as well and kind of tour them around. So we're very excited to get to do that, share and film, hopefully, their experience. We'll see if it's something that we put on YouTube or not, or if it's kind of a special thing for them.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. We kind of got the dry run with Big John, like showing around a night one, but it'll be fun. Being able to go back to answer Javier's question. We're going to SeaWorld, Hollow Scream. It came highly. We've never been, but a lot of friends that have lived down there highly recommend it. So it's something that we had to check out. Especially because like we were buying single night HHN tickets and they were
with Express. Well, not for the first one, for the first one, but
they are not cheap. But.
Pro tip: if you're looking at going to HHN multiple times, had we known we were going to go multiple times, we would have gotten a longer multi-night ticket and also bought it with Express much earlier before they sold out because, as I'm sure you guys are aware, those single night Express passes add up significantly. But I think it'll be worth it. We're not doing Express for Columbus Day weekend. We will be doing Express at HHN with our special guests that are coming with us. So
when is the Florida move?
When's the
great
Florida
move? It's still kind of in flux. The no later than is probably summer 2025. I think it will be probably sooner than that. If I'm a betting man, I think it will probably be more like you're saying, Jay, is the spring of 2025.
Yeah. It's all pretty much up in the air for us right now. But we're excited about it. We've talked to a number of people about moving down there and kind of getting an idea of the areas. And it'll just be a whole shift, like living that close to the parks. I was just telling somebody today, like being able to go and we film in batches and we do a bunch of filming in a short period of time. It'll be a whole different experience being like, all right, so are we going to film today? Like, you want to go to the parks? Let's do this thing.
I think even just the experience of being able to be like, oh, we're going to spend a couple of days filming one video will be interesting, of like how much more footage you can get, how much more B-roll you can get, more deliberate shots just by being able to spend more time per video will be a very interesting experience.
We're excited for it. Super excited. You guys have a ton of stuff coming in the chat, and I know that we're not trying to skip it. There's just a lot going on. What else do we have here?
We do need to make a Midwest visit up to like Cedar Point, Hershey Park, all that sort of Midwestern theme park areas. Because like I grew up going to Cedar Point, and so like I really want to make a trip back to Cedar Point because it's very different. Cedar Point being very much more based in the roller coasters more than in the theming, but there are a lot of good coasters at Cedar Point.
They're great coasters, but I think you and I know that we really appreciate the theming that Universal does, even like queuing into the ride. Like, so taking that away from it, it would be an interesting experience to see how I would feel about Cedar Point when it's like, all right, stand in line. There's not a lot to take in, and then you'll get on the ride. But it's a really good ride. So that would be interesting to kind of weigh out. But Hershey Park has definitely been a place on my list. My inner fat kid's coming out right now because I absolutely love chocolate. And I've always wanted to go to Hershey Park and just kind of see what they have to offer there.
Sean's going to be his first HHN Columbus Day weekend as well.
We hope to see you there.
It's going to be packed. So
it will be busy. It will be quite busy.
Keep an eye out for us. We'll be the people with the backpacks and the big camera.
Yep. When we go for Columbus Day, we're really there kind of getting a chance to support the people that are working, film our own stuff for funsies. It's going to be a more laid back trip for us. For sure. As far as the HHN side goes, we'll still be in the parks daytime for a bit doing some filming. But HHN wise, like chill vibes during HHN for us for that visit. We'll still
watching Nightmare Fuel 3 times.
How many times did we watch Nightmare Fuel per night when we went?
Easy, twice a night, every night.
John loved it.
What did we think of the tribute store?
You know, to be honest, we didn't spend as much time in the tribute store this trip as we have previous trips in tribute stores. It was a good tribute store. We bought merch.
It felt tight.
We got this in the tribute store. I'm trying to point to it properly. Right there. We got this, which is really cool. I didn't take in as much of like the story that was going on in this year's tribute store as I did last year's HHN tribute store. And I thought last year's was a really cool tribute store. This year's was cool. I just didn't really pay as much attention. But I also felt like there was so much other stuff that we were popping around doing that we just weren't able to dedicate as much time to kind of like taking all of that in.
I didn't mind the story. The sort of graffiti thing was kind of cool to see. It felt tight. Like I felt like I was like really like fighting people as we were walking through, which is kind of normal, but more so this year than tribute stores previously.
Yeah. We did go through during one evening where it was like raining, and so people were trying to avoid the rain. But even during times when it was a little emptier, it still was kind of a lot of this walking around like, oh, no, sorry, oops. So,
excuse me. Yeah.
But it was a cool tribute store. There wasn't anything in particular that kind of like jumped out at me that I was like, oh my gosh, this shot is so cool. Well, I mean, I did get a shirt or two. So
we could become Disney annual pass holders. Maybe
someday.
Maybe we got to get down there first.
Yeah.
We
were shocked as well that the hotels were sold out for Columbus Day weekend. Who knows? Maybe people will cancel their reservations. So if you're still interested in staying on site for Columbus Day weekend, call in and talk with the reps at Universal. But we called while we were at HHN. And they looked and there was nothing. So I think if you're at the parks that weekend, just be prepared for a lot of people. A lot of people and a lot of lines. What else? Have you ever considered HL triple dub?
HL.
How long would you wait? I almost forgot my own acronym.
Yeah, you did.
That's such a good question. I like that idea. Honestly, I really like that idea.
Yeah.
Because there definitely are, like, I would have to think through it, but there are definitely like wait time limits where I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna ride that. Or sorry, not gonna do that house right now.
Sneak peek, how long would you wait for museum?
5 minutes.
Walk on.
Boring. Do not walk into these houses behind. Oh, John, you got some of the best scares when you were walking behind me. It was great.
Thoughts on the Wicked store coming?
I think it's going to be very well themed. I'm excited to see how that turns out.
Very interesting to see.
I actually went to go into the store the
Universal store.
Yeah, the Uni store that they're going to change this into. And I went up to the door and I was like, oh, it's closed. Oh no. So I was a little concerned about that, but to find out that this is what they're transitioning it into for a while, like, I think that will be very neat. And as Universal does, I think it'll be a very well themed store. I can't say I've actually watched Wicked in full, which I'd like to, but I know the storyline. I know how it goes. We just haven't actually watched all of it.
We'll get spun up on it.
Yeah. And additional, like, there's an original, but now they're remaking it, and that's what this one is. And so I'm very curious. People love it. Actually, one of our friends was texting me before this saying, like, I'm so excited about this. And so it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Was John's favorite ride Velocicoaster?
Absolutely. Maybe Hulk, actually.
Hulk into Velocicoaster, into Doom.
Unfortunately, John didn't feel that great on Velocicoaster. Like, it all started with Hulk. And so he had a rough ride on Velocicoaster, but arguably the people that sat behind John had a rougher ride because he had a little moment on the ride and after the ride. But
we will see you to Columbus Day weekend. Are you guys doing the Unmasking the Horror tour?
We already have.
We already have. We did the 3 house tour over our long visit. It was. I wish they would have done an IP house with the 3 house.
Yes.
But anytime you can do the Unmasking the Horrors, it allows you to appreciate the houses that much more when you go into them during the night.
Like, I think it helped us appreciate Triplets of Terror
even more. That's exactly what I was going to say. It was like Triplets was fine going through it the first time. Like,
got a couple good scares,
good slasher, but it was like, okay, understanding the storyline and what's going on and the details in that house made it so much better.
The detail in the house. Ugh. Triplets, interesting house. The 3 house and the 6 house Unmasking the Horror tour, both really good. The 6 house tour is twice as long.
It's a long
twice as many houses. So we weren't able to commit that much time to do the 6 house tour. Had we known when we booked the tours which houses we would see, because we booked it like forever ago, I might have had a hard time doing the 3 house because I really did want to see some of those IP houses. And so, you know, if you really want to do Ghostbusters, if you want to see some of those IP houses, like go for the 6 house, know the amount of time you're committing to.
Bring some water.
But the 3 house tour, still very well done. Still very well done.
This was the one thing that stood out above everything else during Halloween Horror Nights. Nightmare Fuel.
I've got a pro and a con that stood out to me.
Okay.
Actually, well, since you picked Nightmare Fuel, mine has to do with stilt walkers.
It's a good one.
So my con is that this season there aren't any stilt walkers in the scare zones, and that stood out to me because, like, cinematography wise and photography and all of that, tough. Like the stilt walkers are so cool to shoot. And between Ben and then our other people who do photography in the parks, like some of those shots are some of my favorite. And so we don't have those in the scare zones. At the same point, I completely understand why there aren't still stilt walkers in the scare zones. It's hard enough doing stilt walking like without people around you, let alone kids running around and all of that comes in the dark and lights and all of that. On the pro side, there's some stilt walkers in the houses, which was so cool. Some very, very good scares from those stilt walkers. So, you know, it's kind of evening it out, but that's what stood out to me on top of you said the main thing. Nightmare Fuel,
Nocturnal Circus was a very different show than years previous. Not that we're disparaging years previous, like we love years previous, but this one just took it to a whole new level. With the story, the acro, it's very, very different than the other years, and there's just so much going on. The music's good, the costumes are good, the acro's good, fire's good. Like it's all really, really good. Like you could go to that show 2, 3, 4 times and see something new every single time.
I was gonna say, I think it took us to our 5th show that we watched to finally go, I know everything that's happening on stage, because there's so many moving parts the entire time.
I want to say it was like that third show where you like showed me a picture and I was like, I had no idea that Luke flipped through a ring at the end, like zero clue.
On fire. It was
I didn't even know there was a ring out there.
Right.
Like it was wild.
But it's such a fun show.
Why does Goblins have so many haters?
I understand Jim, but I'm not understand this like for Goblin's Feast. I thought Goblin's Feast was a good house.
It's better than I expected.
I enjoyed it. I think people didn't go in with the idea that it was going to be more of a funny, campy house. And that's what we took away from it, was like,
if you like Dungeons and Dragons, you're going to like that house.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a sci-fi fan, like you're going to love that house.
The first run we had through Goblins, I was terrified.
Great.
The amount of screams I had through that entire house. And then from there, I was like, all right, I know it's coming for me, like what it's going to be like. But I think people just expect it to be, I don't know, maybe more intense and less funny, because I thought it was kind of funny at times. So
what's up with Rip Ride? Weather right now, I wouldn't be shocked if in the near future Rip Ride goes away, but I think Studios is going to go through quite a makeover here.
After Epic
opens.
Between Simpsons,
Rip Ride, all that.
Right.
Gonna be crazy in Studios. I think later in 2025. Do you think with just 2 Stay and Scream areas this year, it's causing more of a cluster than previous years in areas that had more areas available? Yes.
The Stay and Scream shift is different. Different.
And we can completely understand that like things will change as the Halloween Horror Nights like season progresses. Crowd control was definitely a sticking point. Opening week, not really Wednesday, Thursday, because like weekdays.
It felt like a maze sometimes.
And you had a very limited idea of like when things open, where to go, tons of cattle corrals, tons of ropes.
I think they navigated it fairly well on how to move stuff around, but from the perspective of the person going to HHN, it was like, okay, now where is this? However, when you look at like where they placed the houses and how they had to move things because of storage for the floats, and having so many tents, and it's very much like you got the front of the park tents, you got the back of the park tents. And so in that respect, having, your front of the park stay and scream and your back of the park stay and scream, it makes sense. But like, it was nice to have more pocketed areas for stay and screams in years past. I'll be interested to see how we see that shift next year. If that continues, if they're like, oh man, we need to have just a stay and scream for people that are like, I'm not trying to do a house right away. I just want to stay in the park and not get kicked out. I'll be curious.
New York is still going to be your crazy stay and scream area as well, just because like Insidious, Quiet Place, Ghostbusters, and Major Suites are your 4 houses in New York. And so like those are all popular houses. And so New York is still the place to be, but 2, also going to be your busiest stay.
It didn't feel as packed as last year though, but also that could be because we didn't have Stranger Things. Where Stranger Things just brought so many people in. So take it or leave it. RIP tour tonight. Have fun. That'll be a blast.
That'll be fun.
That'll be a really good
jealous.
time.
Every time I see people do an RIP tour, I'm like, maybe next year we should think about that.
I think about it every time. I've thought about it for these upcoming trips, to be honest. So
Dawn goes, maybe they only have so many people that can still walk. That's certainly a possibility. We know some performers that are like, that do stilt walking and like Mardi Gras and other times of the year. And they're like, I will not do HHN, which is completely quite dangerous. People grab your legs. Like
from liability perspective, like that's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
And so like, it certainly could be,
I don't know.
Could be just be a safety thing. In which case we kind of applaud Universal taking care of their cast members.
For sure. That brings up an interesting question that's gotten some buzz. Thoughts on teenagers becoming more of a nuisance at HHN?
Not surprised.
Yeah. There was a significant difference of our time at HHN on the weekdays because it's a weekday in school versus the weekends. Whether, it's a matter of just so many more people, but then also so many more teenagers. Like the biggest thing, and I would say this across the board for teens, adults that can drink and things like that, is like, people just need to come into HHN and be respectful. Like you can be 13 and go, you can be our age or older and go, but like everybody still needs to still be respectful. And we see that not happen sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. I mean, unfortunately, like sometimes the minority of people kind of ruin it for everybody else. And so, the biggest thing we can say is just be respectful of the people around you. Like understand that you're going to wait, bring your patience pants, be doubly respectful of the team members. Like they're trying to put on a great show and just really do their best.
Yes.
With some crazy crowds.
One of the things we've seen that's gone a really long way for us and others has been, seeing the team members that do have to deal with some of the nuisances that come up, and then kind of just, giving them a little bit of props and being as kind to them as possible, because they got a long night ahead of them, and so just giving them a little bit of love while they're at their job and handling those things it's been nice to be able to do that for others. Let's see here. Thank you for joining. Stephen put in here, your rankings prior to your visit, it's moving on me, was Ben number 1, A Quiet Place, Ob, Insidious, The Further. You did rank them on previous video, but what was the major surprise to you for this season? For houses?
Major surprise. For me, it was Ghostbusters, I think. Like, I don't really remember where I had Ghostbusters in my
You had
my
it like
preseason.
mid,
It was
I
probably
think.
mid, but holy cow, that was a great house.
Cool.
Like this, it's not going to be the scariest house, but it was a gorgeous house, and there's a lot of elements in it.
We went through it a number of times, and it was a fantastic house. I think the house that surprised me the most was Major Suites. The scare zone from 2 years ago, it was a lower ranked scare zone for us, but it was okay. But the house did a great job. And from the pumping in of very sweet candy smells when you're walking in and its facade to the scares that were in that house.
Characters.
Oh my gosh.
Because you not only had Major Suites, but you had Miss Taffy and Miss Sweets and Taffy.
Yeah. It was
good.
I didn't expect to enjoy and be as scared going through that house as I was. And we went through it a number of times, and almost every single time there was an unexpected scare that just got the willies scared out of me. We have a friend that works in that house, and he got me a number of times. And I was like, I never saw it coming.
How was the Death Eater show?
So good.
Yeah, it's
good.
If you saw it last year, it's a very similar show. Weather permitting, like the show will change slightly for safety purposes. But again, incredible. Like it does get busy as the sun goes down. So if you want to see an empty Diagon and interact with the Death Eaters on a more personal level, get there pretty early. If you're there for Stay and Scream, it'll probably open up six and change.
Yeah.
And
if you want to, like you said, if you want to see an empty Diagon alley, go there right away at 6. And it's the craziest experience walking in, and there's like no one in front of you. Like I think John got an amazing shot of just the alley in front of him and the dragon. And again, it's one of those times where you just never get to see that area as empty as it is. And then as the sun goes down, everybody floods in there, and it's like chasing cats, trying to find the Death Eaters as they run around, especially if it's not raining. If it's raining, they're going to try and stay dry.
So is everybody else, though.
So is everybody else. So you're all just kind of in there together. But the Death Eater show was so fun. So fun.
Did we catch any Easter eggs in the houses this year? The thing that's in every house is a snail.
Yeah.
So good luck. Good luck finding the snail.
It's going to be too hard to see it in an actual run through the house. If you do it behind the Screams tour, you'll find the snails. I'm trying to think of any. Here's an interesting Easter egg that we got to see during the Behind the Screams tour, and then you were able to kind of take it in when you're going through the houses, is the creators, the art department creators of the houses this year took it as a challenge. All of the code names for the houses were desserts.
Oh, that's cool.
And so the artists decided that they were going to insert those desserts of the code name into every single house, and they did. And it's very fun to be able to find them. There's a number of posts on Instagram and online if you want to see, where the pudding is in Insidious, or where the baklava is in a museum, which looks like kind of like baklava. But they did a really interesting job on doing that, and it was just fun to get to see it behind the Screams, unmasking. And then you notice it so much more when you're actually going through the houses.
Are RIP tours worth the money? I would say an RIP tour is worth the money if you really have like one night and you want to make sure that you are guaranteed to hit everything.
2 nights.
Especially if it's like a busy weekend.
Yeah.
You got to understand though, like you're going to spend $400 probably in change. They start at like $350.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't include your admission to HHN. So it's like, that's at least another $100 in ish.
We weighed out the idea of doing an RIP tour with our friends that we're bringing towards the end of October versus getting express pass for 2 nights for all of us. And we decided that because we want to go to HHN that Wednesday and Thursday, it's a weekday. If we have express passes, it's already going to be lighter as far as crowd levels go on weekdays. And if you do an RIP tour, you're only getting to go through those houses once on that tour. And we thought, we want to be able to do the full deal with them. So getting express made more sense to us. However, it was highly debated because in an RIP tour, you get to go to the front of the show for Nightmare Fuel. Like they have their own RIP section. You get to go through all the houses. You're getting front of the line. There's not any waiting. And there's some food involved as well. So an RIP tour, I think if you're looking at a 1-2 day night visit, and especially on the weekend, it might be worth looking into as far as the price goes.
There is no minimum age. Just understand, like teens kind of go there for Friday nights and going to the mall. Yeah.
Who goes to the mall anymore?
We went to the mall. We grew up going to the mall on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like Friday nights was like going to the mall.
Years ago now. What else?
The amount of times teens, teen people are gonna have problems with teens. Like, unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, I guess, is why there are a lot of security guards, and there's a lot of cops at HHN.
There are a lot of cops at every single house and throughout the parks. Major Suites has 3 guest triggers. I got John with one of them, which was so fun. So fun.
I'm assuming Express Pass can be used at 5:15 to 6:30 like normal.
Good question.
It's a great question. It's a yes, but most of the times, yes.
Yeah.
Most of the times you can breeze right in with Express Pass. There are times Express Pass is not set up though in time.
Mm-hmm.
They're still doing setup processes, like, so
there's a buffer period during the Stay and Scream when they open houses. So like their one goal during Stay and Scream is to get all of those cattle corrals and stanchions down and get people into the house, because you're really not waiting that long. And so we had an experience where the express line wasn't quite open yet going through a quiet place, but we were about to go through a quiet place. It would have been, we would have burned our express pass way too early in the night for that house anyway, based off of how quickly we were getting in. And so Express Pass does take place during the Stay and Scream timeframe. You probably don't need to use it right away. You're going to be able to bop to the houses, and they may not have it set up as early if you're at like closer to the front of the line in that area.
95% of the time, you'll be okay.
When I went through World Expo Stay and Scream, by the time they got us all funneled back, by the time it was getting closer to 6, Express Pass was open.
Really nice to be here with you in real time. Looking forward to November.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. We are happy we made it back, and we're ready to go. We're already ready to go back. When will you autograph me so I can get it tatted? Talk to John.
Yeah.
John's the one that we're waiting on.
Mm-hmm.
HHN.
He was looking for you when we were at HHN, so we're keeping an eye out.
There is, again, like there's no policy on age, like it's recommended just based off intensity, like of 13 and older.
Kids, like little kids in the park with their parents, which was interesting. Normally I've seen that and they're going to see the Death Eaters, but they were all over this year. So
do you think HHN missed bringing back the Beetlejuice show, with the movie being such a huge hit? Maybe.
Yeah, I won't be shocked if we see some sort of Beetlejuice house or resurgence next year. Like, especially with the movie being such a hit, but who knows? Who knows?
I think it was probably just too close of like timing, because it's like Exorcist kind of came out after HHN last year.
Kind of like teased it.
Yeah, and kind of teased it out. So like it opening in the beginning of September, like it didn't really offer much of a like, hey, this is a teaser for the movie.
Right.
You could see the movie and then go into HHN, which would be actually really fun.
Hi, Sal. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in October.
We are glad that we make you feel loved. Like that is so like.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. That this is kind of the reason we do it. Like we love making people's trips. We love making people feel welcome. We love making the community. And that's why why we're making so many HHN videos, is because like we want your HHN trip to be better than ours. Like that's the whole goal.
Like getting to share the time with people at the parks and see their experience and share those memories with them is one of our favorite things. So we're not able to do that with everybody, because obviously there's only so much time, right? So being able to do that through these videos is one of the things that really like fills our cup. So we appreciate getting to share that with you. Favorite piece of merch this year? HHN related or just park related? Because I bought 2 new pieces of merch that I absolutely love, and they have nothing to do with HHN. What's yours?
The Mel's stuff is really heavy this year. So like the Mel's Dying t-shirt. Yeah. And I love that tin. Like I saw that tin little
early on,
and I was like, I need that. Like that needs to go in our background. And so like I love that piece. Got a wand.
This is not what I was gonna say, but I did get a Death Eater wand this season. Very excited about it. Did I need a third wand? No. My favorite pieces of merch that I recently bought was over in Toon Lagoon in like the Betty Boop shop.
Oh my gosh.
They had a Woody Woodpecker football style jersey and also Woody Woodpecker basketball shorts, which I have been wearing those things around the house. They're so comfortable. I am so jealous. So like they were originally the Uni brand, and they were selling them over in the Woody Woodpecker Betty Boop shop area. And I love them. If they're literally in a pile of laundry down the hall right here, I would go grab them if I knew exactly where they were in that laundry. But those are my favorite. And then this also might be one of my favorite pieces of merch as well, but not bought from Universal.
Favorite HHN food of all time? All time. That one's tough.
Favorite HHN food of all time?
All time.
I feel like I have to think back so far.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
I don't even remember. No.
There's so many foods we've eaten.
Many foods.
This is going to sound kind of silly, but one of the best things we had during HHN this year was not an HHN themed food, but it was eating at Mel's after we did our Express Pass challenge.
Pro tip.
That burger and those chicken tendies were like, they hit the spot.
if you're not into it for the theming, Mel's is open. It's got AC. The food's good.
There's ice in the Coke Freestyles.
Like, it's a solid
and the lemon berry pie. So good.
It's a solid bet in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Get off your feet a little bit.
I'm trying to think of anything else in particular. Like, I'll think about the HHN food, because like we've had so much HHN food.
We did a food video every year almost.
Yeah, it's almost hard to decide what. Keep in mind, next year we will have Dark Universe going on to be.
It's gonna be crazy.
Fun to see.
It's gonna be nuts.
Epic it's on its way. It's on. Also, still working on pronouncing it as Helios Grand, not the Grand Helios. Ben and I caught ourselves, like, we filmed the video and made it about the Helios Grand, but the whole time we were saying, whoops, Grand Helios. And then afterwards we're like,
it's not that.
We're going to take that down because it's Helios Grand. So that was on us, but.
Y'all help me miss the parks less in between visits.
Oh, yay.
You guys do too.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like we follow along on Instagram for like almost everybody's trips, and we're like, man, it's really fun.
We like live through people that are at the parks when we're not at the parks. So true.
Joseph going to HHN Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week.
Yay.
Maximize Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes.
Because Friday's going to be busy, but those Wednesday, Thursday days are primo, especially if the weather's good. So fingers crossed the weather's good for you.
Yes. It was great meeting you. Thank you, Matthew. Oh my gosh. I love that. We met so many people this last trip, and it was so nice to have people come talk with us, chat with us. We got a few bracelets, which was so cute. I don't make bracelets myself. I don't know if I can get into that rigor of making them, but I appreciate the bracelets, especially when people go and like put fudge on. Oh my gosh. It's such a sweet thing. I appreciate it.
Are you a Slytherin? Yep.
Am I a Slytherin?
She is a Slytherin.
Yes, I am a Slytherin.
The pinchos from Monstros was good. Yes, the pinchos was.
Ooh. Was that
the spinal cord chicken?
Oh, yeah. That one was
delicious.
The chimichurri that was on it. I could have just kept eating a bowl of that in itself. It was really, really good.
We'll be at the Hard Rock October 5th through 10th, doing an RIP on the 6th and regular HHN on the 9th.
Nice.
That is a full trip, and you've also made a wonderful choice staying at the Hard Rock.
We stayed at Hard Rock for this last trip, and as much as it cost, because it wasn't cheap, it was probably one of the best choices we've ever made for an HHN trip, because it was so nice being able to walk back to the house, to the room, and like, just, you're right there. All of a sudden you're there. It was so, so great. Let's see.
Did we catch the Abigail reference in Monsters Eternal Bloodlines?
Yes and no. I could see how the scene when you walk into the like her castle lair and all of that, it didn't give me strong Abigail vibes. Like, I can see it, but also it didn't remind me enough of Abigail. So
did we do the dead coconut experience of Soho House? We didn't do it. We basically closed HHN down every single time.
I was gonna say, we didn't spend that much time in City Walk, actually.
Honestly. And so like by the time 2 a.m. rolled around, we're like, we still have another hour of dumping footage onto a computer, and at least
the amount of times Ben fell asleep with his computer in front of him
every night almost.
I was like,
and so like we're not going to bed till like 3 or 4 in the morning, and that's
also, we brought food with us and like made sandwiches in our room, so we just really didn't end up going to City Walk very often at all.
If I go on a Wednesday, would you recommend Express Pass? I'm going on October 16th. A Wednesday, I would probably say you'd be okay without it. Like,
especially if you do Stay and Scream.
You're probably going to be fine without it, honestly.
It'll be a little bit of a longer wait, but it will save you money.
It'll save you money. I don't like. I think the weekdays, like the longest wait we really saw was like 35, 40 minutes.
I mean, A Quiet Place was still up there, but it dropped.
Up there for sure. But
yeah,
it'll be more cyclical than the Friday, Saturday, Sundays.
What else do we have? I usually do Stay and Scream, but I don't know if it's necessary this year. Wait times seem lower than normal.
They do. You definitely don't have like a 3-hour Stranger Things house or multiple hour Last of Us house.
I think Stay and Scream, it depends on how many days you're there. I think Stay and Scream's worth it if you're only there for a day or two. Especially if you don't have Express Pass, you're able to hit those houses quickly and get in and be able to experience it and have more time to kind of like hang out in the park. But I also recognize there are a number of people that like don't do HHN the way we do, where we're wandering around the park getting footage and like people are just hitting houses. And so like we've seen in our comments where people are like, I didn't do Stay and Scream, I didn't have Express, and I was able to get all these houses. For
sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And it is doable.
Yeah, we're never saying it's not doable.
We just have a little less time to be able to hang out in line for houses. So we're a little bit more specific with like, how are we using our time? And so if we're there to get a lot of footage and we want to do houses, Stay and Scream's super helpful. If we're just going in for the evening and we're not filming, we're just capturing friends and performers doing things, then we might not use Stay and Scream, especially if it's raining. Like there was a night where I was like, let's just go grab dinner and we'll walk in after the gates open. And that worked really well. Who's
your favorite icon flying over from the UK on Tuesday for 2 weeks? So excited. That's a long holiday one. And
that's going to be so
much fun.
So fun.
Jack. 100%. If I had to pick from this year though, Surreal, I like. Sinister's still really cool. I like Surreal.
I like Sinister better.
It's okay. That's why we balance each other out.
Yeah, interesting. But I also pick Jack as my favorite icon as well.
That's exactly. So Mary Johnston, that's exactly what we did too. Is like we try to project of like when HHN is going to be. So we'll book out. We booked out this year, like October.
Not gonna lie, we are probably gonna do that here sooner than later for the upcoming.
We're gonna live down there.
We're gonna live down there. That's a whole thing we have to remind ourselves. Where do we leave off here? There's so many things.
Dawn stayed at Cabana Bay for Volcano Bay and then Royal Pacific. Yes. Perfect.
We love Cabana Bay.
Cabana Bay is great. It'll be interesting to see as it goes down to a value resort, but
as if it gets even busier,
cheaper, who knows? Staying at Cabana Bay Tuesday through Saturday this week. Go for a week every year in September and buy Rush of Fear. Live 2,000 miles away in Missouri.
Ooh, dang.
Can we count Batilda as an icon?
You'll see her in the tribute store. She's in there. She is in there. Definitely doing Stay and Scream opening, only doing 2 nights. I think we'll do Ben's plan without Express and HN possibly get in 1 night. So for our visit with our friends we're taking, we're only doing HHN for Wednesday and Thursday. Currently our plan for that, we have Express Pass for both evenings. The goal is to get them to experience everything plus more. Because they've just never done this before, but we'll probably do Stay and Scream Wednesday night, weather permitting. We'll do Stay and Scream, and then Thursday we're gonna do a dinner at a place in City Walk, and then go in after the gates open because they've all at that point our plan will be is that they've already done the houses. We can hit up the houses they want to do again. We can go and see the shows and kind of have a more relaxed evening.
What OI meetups are we going to this year?
The 22nd and
November
23rd of
23rd
November
are the for sure dates. We'll see if we end up going back in December yet.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. We're excited to go and experience Grinchmas again. Yep. Like that's exactly why we're going to those initial meetup dates, is because that's the very first weekend of Christmas holidays Universal.
Have you seen each resort's holiday lobby setups yet?
We did.
So unrelated, but yes, we have. So we did another video that we had to bounce between pretty much all the resorts. And so like as a part of that, we were able to see all kind of the different themes and different setups of each of all.
Did you have a favorite of the hotels, of their setups?
I think the one that stuck with me the most was Aventura's in the Aliens.
Of all of them, Aventura's? Yeah. Obviously I liked Hard Rock. That's where we were staying. But the one that stood out the most to me was what they did at Cabana Bay. All of those pumpkins around the Swizzle Lounge and everything, I thought was so fun. I just love pumpkins too, though. So I'm not that surprised by it.
Cabana Bay was pretty cool. Coming down from Canada, staying at Cabana Bay for 5 nights.
Cabana.
Cabana Bay is awesome. Get a malt for us.
No. The banana pudding ice cream at the malt shop is
Get a cookies and cream milkshake for me. Don't let her sway you. Cookies and cream milkshake.
One of each.
Have y'all or know someone that had Stay and Scream plus Express Pass? That was pretty much what we did.
We had Stay and Scream and
you
Express
will have
Pass.
a breeze of a night.
Did we need Express Pass for every single night? No. Did it make sense to factor it in and get the multi-night plus Express Pass ticket for us? For what intent we had for filming? Yes, it made a lot of sense for us.
It'll make your night very, very relaxed. Like you're not going to have to rush. You're not going to have to be on your phone checking wait times because you're just going to be like, I don't really want to do that. Or I want to go to the show, or I feel like going to pop in for food or Death Eaters. Like you're going to have a very mellow, very chill night just based off having both Stay and Scream and Express Pass. Having
Stay and Scream and Express Pass helped allow us to be like, hey, we're going to meet up to do this with this group of friends at this time. And then we're going to pop over here and do this with another friend group and like be able to see people all around the park as well as enjoy the houses and the shows.
November is Big John going to the OI meetup with us. We'll see if we can talk him into it.
He was talking about it at one point. I don't know if Mrs. Big John was deciding if she was going to go or not yet.
How often do we go to Universal and how many videos do we try and make each trip? This with the multiple HHN visits this year, it makes it tough.
So in years past, we would make it to Universal maybe 5 to 6 times throughout the year. This year we've jumped up a little bit because of some of these, quick trips that we have planning. And so I think this year we're going to be down there 8 times.
Yeah, at least probably.
When we go, the amount of videos we make kind of depends on how long we're there. So if we're there for a 4-day trip of like 4 days in the park, ish, we're probably going to film about 8 videos.
Yeah, we'll probably film, like, I think on average, it'll be about 2 videos a day. Sometimes 3, depending on, but three's pushing it because it's like.
Unless we're staying up for HHN and up until 2 a.m.
Or then, OI, where you have a longer night.
The biggest thing that holds us back from filming is time. We've learned to make the videos and the quality that we want to have on YouTube. We need a significant amount of time to film each video. And so it used to be like we would take a day and try and push like 3, maybe even 4 videos in a day, and the quality that we wanted just wasn't there. And so we've learned like, all right, we're going to be able to dedicate the morning half of the day to this video, the mid-afternoon to evening time of day to this video. And so we kind of break it up that way.
We look at like between 6 to 8 hours of video, which
sometimes it's less.
Sometimes it's less, but even I think I hope and
the ideal
is that we're going to be able to spend multiple days on a video when we live down there, which would be really nice. Favorite house facade? Major Suites.
Yeah, it
was great.
Major Suites for sure. They just and maybe it's because it was in the Fast and Furious queue where like we haven't exactly loved the last 2 years of the houses in Major Suites area. Major Suites like swept it. We really, really enjoyed that house a lot.
Steven, thank you.
Steven.
Thank you for all the content, hard work, and amazing videos, and the live. Keep taking us along. We promise we will. We're trying to make everybody's Universal trips and everybody's HHN and Grinchmas and every event better than ours.
Right.
Can't wait for Grinchmas. Us too. That Grinch breakfast or meet and greet or VIP tour is going to be so much fun.
So fun.
When we move down here, are we thinking about a house or apartment living? I'm sure one is much easier than the other. So we have 2 dogs, which you'll see at the end of the live, because that's kind of become our thing. So we would prefer a house, just for the yard aspect, and then
I was gonna say for our own sleep aspect.
Yeah, Lando's very defensive of where we live.
He gets borky,
and he'll let you know that he sees you.
He hears a bump in the night and he barks, and so
he's a very loving boy.
He is a very sweet boy. He just likes to protect mom and dad, and so a house is more what we're looking for, especially because like our goal is like. We've lived in Washington. We've lived here in Georgia now. Military life moves you around, and this move will be non-military related.
And hopefully our last one for a while.
So like this is the home. This is the where we stay home. And so a little bit more intentional purchase and move with this upcoming?
Her teenagers will be there.
They will be.
And just, again, bring your patient pants. If you got problems, let security or the police officers know. Let them handle it. Because it's never good for anybody.
Right. Mrs. Big John and Catfish Super Big John need to go to OI meetup in November.
There we go. John, you're coming. It's decided. Jay's decided you're coming.
Yes. I mean, she does love the Grinch. So
she does. And DreamWorks.
Yeah, she needs her Shrek time.
When are we planning to move to Florida? Early next year, at some point.
We'll have more information eventually.
There's enough. That's about as good as we can get. Is like
our family asked the same questions. We're like,
spring?
I don't know. At some point, we will.
Late winter, spring. Stay and Screen plus 2 Express Pass on Wednesday. Nice. Looking forward to you're gonna be able to go through houses multiple times, sit down, enjoy some dinner.
Ooh, I just thought of something. For those of you who want to go to the Nightmare Fuel show, know when the times are: 8, 9:30, 11, and 12:30. Those are the show times for the evenings. If you're going to the show, get in line early. Because
30 minutes,
they will queue you up. That line gets long, and then they'll funnel you in through the cattle corrals, and you'll wait in a big herd. But if you're not in there, like, you're gonna have a great spot where you sit no matter what. But if you want to be closer to the action, get in line
early,
probably at least 30 minutes before the show, 45. If not earlier, because those lines do get long.
Slaughter Cinema is cool with all the drive-in movies. It is. I was kind of surprised how much I enjoyed, like, the micro stories throughout. Very fun, very different. And it offered very different elements in each of the little themes, because you had the giant shark animatronic, you had the glow-in-the-dark paint, and in one of the rooms is 3D if you want to bring 3D glasses. Cool.
Mummy strippers unwrapped.
So funny. The scare where they throw the zombie at you on the little dolly thing, like, super cool.
When did that happen?
The chain, Jack.
Oh, yeah. What was that one called?
Yeah, I don't remember. Chain,
something and chains. Hook and chains.
Hatchet and chains. There we go.
Yeah. That house, we were in a behind the screams tour for that house, and that was fun to walk through and get my favorite part of Slaughter Cinema is actually when you're waiting out front to be able to see the movies on the screen. It just sets you up so well to go through this house. I loved the punk rock devil 3D room, but also that shark. That shark is very cool.
Did you get your ginger newt cookie? And have you tried getting 2 of them and making an ice cream cookie with butter? See, we tried
We've been told to do this before, and we never do it.
I've never, like, this is so, like, I thought we did the float. We did the butterbeer float.
I've had conversations with people before.
I'm doing that next time. We
actually didn't get a ginger newt this trip.
I did. It was delicious.
When did you get it?
Delicious.
Without me?
Oh, yeah.
Was it in the daytime or HHN?
Daytime. It was delicious.
Was it during our filming when John's tossing his cookies? You ate a ginger newt.
It was delicious, and now I need butterbeer ice cream to go with it. So it's got to be over in Diagon, because you got to get.
There's ginger. Sorry, soft serve.
You got to get soft serve butterbeer.
That makes sense.
I'm doing that next trip.
I'm just appalled. I'm doing that. Ginger newt, and I didn't get one.
Is the shark an old Jaws animatronic? I doubt it. It's more of a puppet.
It's a puppet.
It's a puppet.
Ben said animatronic earlier, but it's a puppet that is, its jaws open and shut, and it comes out at you. It's not a true animatronic. No.
What would your dream haunted house be at Universal?
I don't know. I don't think about scary things like
Scream. I've been asking for Scream for years.
You want Scream?
I want Ghostface.
I don't know if I have a dream. You also wanted
I also wanted Creature of Black Lagoon. I also want Creature still.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a dream haunted house. A Death Eater haunted house? JK would never allow for that.
Or a Jurassic Park one. That'd be sick. I mean, I know they did that back yonder where they had dinosaurs, like, walking around as a scare zone. It was pretty cool. But
I have a hard time thinking about that. That's a lot of, like, what would scare me most?
Steven, you're right. They are going to serve butterbeer in City Walk here pretty soon.
I think that'll blow up. I think people will go nuts to be able to have butterbeer without going into the parks.
Do y'all think it's possible on a Thursday with Stay and Scream and Express to go through all the front houses twice, then twice in the back of the houses later in the night when the wait time's low? Probably. I'd probably say so. You're probably going to have to do the front of the houses pretty early on with Stay and Scream. But if you're willing to close the parks down, yeah, 100%. Like
with how fast you were able to do all the houses without Express,
I got a little lucky for sure. Like I will duly admit I got lucky, especially with Insidious, because as soon as I got in line, like Insidious jumped up to like an hour.
I think you'd be able to
that was also on like a Saturday.
That was on a Saturday. I think you'd be able to easily do all the houses and then get through the majority of them, like do all of them without Express by hitting it up with Stay and Scream, and then do another round and get most of them done with Express.
Yeah, because like the after that last Nightmare Fuel show, the parks die. So like 12:30 rolls around after that 12:30 show.
Well, it's like 1 o'clock, and then you're just popping into houses.
You could probably get 5 houses done between 1 and 2.
If you're not too tired.
If you're not too tired.
Yeah.
What house do you hope improves when you guys come back? I mean, the easy button answer is museum.
I hope they make a couple switch ups to Eternal Bloodlines.
I could see that.
I very much expected that house to be up there with Legends Collide, because it is like Legends Collide round 2 with women. But there were a number of areas where like I definitely missed scares consistently. I don't know if it was like there were kinks working out, or maybe it just happened to be the way it was. But like I only saw the swing scare. I only saw that once, and it really didn't come at me. It was like seeing somebody else get it. And so I think there's some things that could get worked out in that house. It wasn't as strong of a monsters house as
previous years
we've had for previous years. So if there was one house to be like, to go back through it and be like, oh dang, they stepped up their game, that would be the house that I would like to see.
Nightmare Fuel house. Yep. I just want Nightmare Fuel to come back for another year is really what I want. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I will probably vote for Nightmare Fuel to keep coming back. Like,
there is quite the crowd out there that would prefer not to see Nightmare Fuel.
They want to see back to the old
Bill and Ted.
But
which I would like to see that. Like, if there was a way to have multiple shows, cool. I think that'd be pretty neat.
Put Bill and Ted and animal actors, and Nightmare Fuel can stay at Fear Factor.
Yeah. The look on my face when you got a ginger.
All right. So Dawn I should have gotten you a ginger newt. So, I mean, yes, 99% yes, 100% no, Dawn. I say no really because I got the short end of the stick multiple times on this trip. And it was during one of those times where I caught the short end of the stick and I was not happy about it. And so, like, bear with us because it'll come out in the video.
He did capture this on video. I'm just learning about it right now.
And so I deserve the ginger newt.
The real question is, like, I don't really know what he filmed during this video because we were split up. John was with me. He was on his own and he was supposed to do something. I question if he actually followed through on his side of the bargain. So I guess we're going to find out all together as he edits this next one.
Jeepers Creepers would be a good one. That'd be a good house.
Ooh.
If Ben would have bought a ginger newt, then Ben would have had, 100%. So the ginger newts are the breakfasts of champions. Yeah. That is how you do the park right, is by starting your day off with a butterbeer and a ginger newt. And if it's in the wintertime, a hot butterbeer and a ginger newt.
We're gonna be back soon enough. It might not be the first October trip, but the second one might be hot butterbeer time.
How many HHN visits so far this year? So we've only done the one, and it was 7 nights.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
7?
8. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 7.
And then we're going back Columbus Day, so that's another
Friday, Sunday.
So that's
because we're gonna do Halloween Scream on Saturday,
and then 2 more nights after that. So 3 trips, but we'll be going 10 plus.
Again, had we realized we were going to go back this many times, we would have bought the bigger multi-night one versus buying single night tickets for October timeframe.
Have we ever thought, thank you for supporting the channel. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any plans for Hollywood? I've heard A Quiet Place there was scarier there. Plans for Hollywood eventually, yes, maybe next year. Just because like we'll be living down there, and so hopefully we can venture out versus traveling down to Orlando and then doing another trip.
We also really want to make it over to Japan and Beijing.
So that would be really cool.
Ride the Jaws ride.
With the Hollywood houses, they're just different. So yes, some are going to be scarier, some are not going to be scarier than Orlando. They're just going to be different because they're created by different people, like different effects.
We watched the YouTube videos of the Hollywood houses just to kind of get an idea of the differences and even just the set style for the interior of those houses. Like if you pay attention to how they build them in Orlando versus how they look in Hollywood, it's so different. Again, different designers, different plans. But it's intriguing to me because I like to nerd out on the design of them. And so I would be very curious just to see how does the aesthetic of the Hollywood houses shift the feeling? Does it really, from my perspective, it seems like it would be so different. Does it really feel that way when you go through them?
Do we prefer shorter, more frequent trips or the longer visits? Somewhere in between, honestly, because like the 4-day visits go by so fast.
Yeah.
I like the 9-day trips, but we just seem to fill them up also. Yes. So like there's at some point where like I'm tired.
The 9-day trip this year was hard because like we needed to sleep. And there were times where it was like 10 a.m. and we're finally waking up because we had closed the park down, and you still only got like 5 hours of sleep based off of the time that we went to bed. And yet we're like, oh my gosh, I want to keep sleeping, but now I feel like I'm wasting my day because I need to go take care of these things. I want to go be in the parks. I want to go play and ride Hagrids and do this stuff. And so it's a mix because you're like, I want to be able to take advantage of all this, but it'd be interesting to see how we would feel to go on like a 9-day trip down there, but not have a late night event. I think that would feel so leisurely and nice.
Hopefully there will be a premium Scream Night in 2025. I haven't been to HHN before, but would make that night happen. Agreed. I will make it happen too.
A solid call. Like if you only have one way to do HHN, premium Scream Night would be the way to do it. I really do hope they bring it back.
Texas Chainsaw Legacy House looked really good. Molly from Mammoth Club said it was absolutely terrifying, and we believe her.
Yes.
Group trip for Japan. Let's do it. We got to figure it out.
I like that.
I like it.
I like that a lot.
Question for Ben. What was scarier, HHN or your wedding day? I'm doing research since I'm getting married. One, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Married is very fun. What was scarier, HHN or wedding day? See, our wedding day was really chill though.
We had a very chill wedding day.
We also spread it out. So like our first like official wedding day, like we did in our backyard of our apartment.
No. Our first official wedding day.
Oh, it was signing the paperwork.
We signed paperwork early, and my parents were our witnesses. Yeah. And then we cooked steaks in the kitchen.
Second one was in the side lot of our apartment.
Yep, in their nice grassy area.
And the official family.
The judge was also a yoga instructor.
Yeah. And then the official like family party, what everybody kind of thinks of as a wedding. Like I was in shorts and a t-shirt.
Yep. It said groom on his t-shirt.
It said groom, and then we played
Dickie's barbecue catered,
and we played wiffle ball. It was a great time.
And then it was also 4th of July. So we celebrated the 4th of July with everybody after. I think it was after 4 or 5 o'clock. Everything turned over to 4th of July time.
So don't use our wedding as a gauge.
So HHN's your answer. So right?
HHN was probably scarier.
Mom's laughing in the comments.
Would love a Scream house. Are you the stew train? Stew train.
I don't know what stew train is.
I don't know what stew train means.
I like that though. Hellraiser house.
That was because of military life, right? Yes, I've experienced probably much more stressful situations than showing up for a wedding.
We chose to do our wedding that way because
we didn't. That was just us. Like
that's just kind of how
we are. It was like we're very laid back. We kind of go to the beat of our own drum, and that was what we wanted to do. And we weren't gonna like do anything else. So we were like, what sounds good? Well, everybody loves Dickey's barbecue. Dickey barbecue is delicious.
Yeah.
Let's have Dickey's for our cater versus like, and so that was just kind of what we wanted to do. And
my mom took me to one bridal expo that they had, and I've never felt so awkward in my life walking around. I was like holding a bouquet going, stop looking at me, everyone. This is weird. So just kind of did our own thing. It was fun.
Just got back home from our first ever HHN. The houses were amazingly done and impressive, but I feel like I enjoyed the scare zones more. Did something wrong?
You didn't do anything wrong.
Nothing wrong.
The scare zones are incredible. In fact, I'd be curious, what was your favorite scare zone?
They complement each other for sure. In fact, like I think even like the fact that there were no stilt walkers and you enjoyed them that much, it was like is a testament to how good they are.
Yes.
There's tons of great sets. Torture Fair and Demon Queens
those were our favorites.
Amazing.
Although I really did enjoy Blumhouse and Zombies too.
Zombies was great. Zombies was just so dark that it was hard to tell where the zombies were.
When you retire from the military, what will you do?
So will you become full-time creating videos? What's your retirement plans? I mean, eventually, hopefully, content becomes our full-time thing, which would be really cool. If we can get to that point, and that is a business goal of ours for sure, is to be able to help people full-time to navigate Universal and all the parks around Orlando and Japan, Beijing, whatever.
In the meantime, you're looking at remote work,
doing nutrition work, nutrition and training, physical training and exercise stuff.
Yeah. So
it'll be fun.
Work from home with me too and do things. And then we'll be able to go to the park and continue working on Fudge Factory and helping that grow and thrive and turn it into even bigger booming business, ideally.
Do I think Stu survived with?
Who's Stu? Stu?
You're going to have to watch the videos again.
You're
gonna have to watch Ghostface again. You're gonna have to watch. We gotta brush you. We gotta brush you
from
back.
Scream.
Yeah.
I forgot we were talking about Scream.
Scream. Come on.
Yes. I forgot about the Scream comment.
Yes, I do. Scare zones were just more interactive than being herded through houses. Favorite zone was probably Surreal by the Five and Dime. Yes. Demon Queens was our favorite as well. There were a lot of people in
I liked how many roaming people they had in Demon Queens, and I liked that it was a little bit smaller, so it felt more up in your grill, and they were up in your grill, which was so fun. So fun. You
guys are in great shape. What is your exercise regimen? Watch you eating pretty unhealthy at the OI, but you guys look. So you guys see one side of us eating, usually when it's in an OI meetup, HHN, things like that. So like you're getting one small snippet.
It's a couple hours
hours out of our day when 99% of the time we don't eat like that whatsoever. Like I'm currently on 2,100 calories and 220 grams of protein a day. Like
it's not normal.
That's again not normal.
That it's definitely not normal.
I'm cutting,
for you.
But it's not normal. I'm doing a fat loss phase. We work out. I work out 5 days a week. You probably do about the same.
I lift about 3 days a week, and then I have some like light cardio, stair stepper stuff a couple days a week.
And then we
work on getting them steps in so we can navigate Universal easily. And then feel comfortable.
Track our nutrition pretty regularly. And then we decide if we want to stay on track when we're at the parks or not.
Although I will say, because somebody asked me today in person, when we did the kitchen sink challenge, did you guys actually eat all that food?
Yes.
And yes, we did. And yes, we felt absolutely miserable after eating that entire challenge of food, even though we didn't even finish it. But yeah, I would say when it comes to our food videos, like take it with a grain of salt, because like we do try all of the food. We eat a lot of it. We do eat quite a bit of it, but we also we prepare knowing that day what we're going to do. And then additionally, like that's a couple hours of our day. It's not how we're eating all day long. If people think that's how we're eating all day long. Oof.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Sneeze. Oh boy.
Speaking of diets, have either of you tried carnivore? It's kind of what I feel like I'm on right now.
I have not done carnivore before.
I mean, all diets are one short
Do
term.
I eat this?
And they're all short term. So understand that it's like behaviors are more important than the actual diet. It's all a caloric restriction. If you eat just protein, like at 4, I know we're nerding out now, but it's okay. At 4 calories a gram, like you can eat a lot of meat and be full and satiated and all that fun.
You do need carbs, though.
You do need carbs. Your brain needs carbs.
Let's see. Currently, universal worst thing is just how hot and humid it is.
Facts.
It is pretty
Facts.
toasty.
And it's been rainy.
It has been toasty and rainy. The Frog Tog ponchos we had for HHN are wonderful. If you're a poncho person and you are looking for a new one in your life, check out Frog Togs on Amazon because those ponchos were clutch. They kept you very dry and they were also pretty breathable, which was wonderful. Thank you for the food reviews. Chimichurri sauce has been on my mind every day. Good. We are glad you enjoyed it. Hopefully it allowed you to navigate or helps you navigate what foods you want to try, which ones you can pass on, because some of them you don't really want to try it when it's 95 degrees and 95% humidity. Corn chowder. Beans. I want soup bit. Right. Yep. Right. When I'm walking through it. Going to HHN in 10 days. Can't wait for all those goodies to eat, especially the Reese's crepe. You guys are great. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. Be prepared in that Reese's crepe. It is a lot of like moussey texture. Yeah, so if you want a little bit of crunch somewhere, like you're not going to get that from the Reese's crepe. I would have loved if there was like, this sounds some Captain Crunch in there or something, like something in that to give it a little bit more crunch, because it was a lot of mousse once you kind of got into it. But if you like peanut butter, it's good. It's good. Like the Death Eater shirt, After Colors. After Colors. That way. After Colors is fantastic. We got Ben the Death Eaters one. I have Castle Tours, and it's black and purple, as well as I have a Halloween 1991 for Harry Potter. So last night I nearly cried tears of joy going into Gringotts when the AC hit. That's the Gringotts, great. King's Cross Station, so good. Even better. So good. Next year, the same offering for HHN. I'll be there and hope to find you guys. Yay! We're planning for it. We'll be there. Hopefully we can go multiple times. We'll get in the probably the ultimate frequent fear, be there all the time. I'm still not wrapping my head around us living down there, because I'm about to be like, opening day, opening week, we'll be there. But then I'm like you'll actually we're going every night. Right. Oh, thank you for linking the After Colors website, Stephen. That is super, super helpful. It's about time to go get the pups. All right. Ben's going to go get the dogs. And once they come up here, you guys will see Lando and Lainey. If there's any other questions, I will do my best to answer them until then. And then the pups will come up and greet us, and we'll wrap this puppy up. We are going to move, actually. Give us about 6 to 8 months. That is the plan. I got Express Pass on HHN tomorrow and unlimited 2-park Express. Ooh, you're going to have a great time. That's awesome. I have to switch these chairs. These dogs are about to blast in here. Also, so the Mel's Drive-In thing, that was our Tribute store purchase this year. Little Boo last year, but he is still available at the Tribute stores. He's still there. So any other questions? We've had a great turnout tonight. Thank you guys all for coming, being here, joining us on a Saturday. Last horror movie we watched Strangers 2. It has another part of the name, but we watched Strangers 2 last night. Put me on edge. Here comes one. Here comes two. Don't knock anything over. Oh, goodness. Come on up, baby. They're everywhere. Come here. Come on up. Oh, and here's Laner Bug to wrap up the night. Hi, Laney Babums. Lando is just on the floor. Hi. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We're so glad you joined us. We appreciate you spending our Saturday with us. Stay tuned for more videos coming. I don't believe we have one dropping this Sunday, but Ben is in the process of editing one. We'll have one out here soon enough. Did we try the Liege waffles that are still available? We did not try the Liege waffles, but we did at Mardi Gras, and they so good. All right. Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks for joining.